All right, question one on the no calculator section is usually so easy. All you need to do is take k is equal to 3 and put it inside here. So you've got x minus 1 over 3 is equal to 3. Now, what do? You probably know how to do this, is whenever you see this line, you just want to have one part over here and just cross multiply them. So 3 times 3 gives you 9. So I'm going to write down 9 here, and x minus 1 times 1 is just x minus 1. So x minus 1 is 9, and then you add 1 to both sides. So this is gone. So x is equal to 9 plus 1. That gives you 10 as your answer. All right, can you solve this problem in your head now? Super easy. You just have to cross multiply it, which means this times this, whatever answer you get here, and this is equal to x plus 3. So which of these answers would work? Post your answers and let's see how well you can do this. Another easy problem from the SAT no calculator section. You are just asked to add these guys. So whenever you have a plus sign here, just get rid of these parentheses and these parentheses here. So you're just going to write it down as 7 plus 3i minus 8 plus 9i. Now you have to group the like terms. You cannot add this and this, but only this part you can add with this. So 7 minus 8. You can even think about it as $7 minus $8. So what is that? 7 minus 8 is -1. And then you've got this part here, 3i plus 9i. Whatever this i is, in case you know what the i is, it's this part, but it doesn't matter for this problem. 3 plus 9 gives you 12i. And so therefore A is your answer. Now I'm going to change only one thing here. I'm going to just make this a minus 9i here, a negative 9i. Now which of these answers would work? So use your common sense, use your logic, and let me know quickly what's the answer to this. Post your answers. I think that'll help you to practice more. All right, in this problem, you've got Armand sending M text messages for each hour. So each hour he's sending text messages M, 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 and M. So for 5 hours, it's going to be these numbers added to each other. So it's going to be 5M over here. That's the only place where you see 5M. So that could be your answer. But you can also think about Tyrone sending P messages every 4 hours. So you've got P the first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour. So that's 4P. And so 5M plus 4P is your answer. Now, what about we flip this? Suppose the Armand sends 4 hours, these messages, and then Tyrone sends for 5 hours. So which of these answers would work? So post your answers. Let's see how quickly you can solve them. It's very easy. I think you will know exactly what to do. And let's move on from here. Question 4 on the non-calculator. These problems are usually very easy. What's the meaning of the value 108? So this is an interpretation problem. This is a very common SAT style problem. You've got interpretation. You've got to interpret what's going on. So you've got 108 here. Now note that in this equation, this is a linear equation. You've got one number here and then another number in front of the alphabet, this letter over here, right? This number is usually going to be your initial or your starting value. It's just going to be your starting value. So what do? Just look at the place over here. Look at these option choices, and where does it say starting or initial? This is the only place it says starting, and so therefore B is your answer. Just so that you understand this problem even better, can you find the number of days, D? How much is the days when they will finish the number of phones? So all you need to do is set this to be equal to 0 and then find the value of D. Can you find the value of D? So let's see how quickly you can solve this. I think it's just an extension on this problem so you understand it a bit better. Remember, the problem is after how many days will Kathy be able to repair all of the phones? All right, this is an easy distribution problem. If you see a negative in front of the parentheses, all you need to do is flip the sign on every single one of them. So ignore this negative and just put a plus here, put a minus here, and put a plus here. That's all you need to do. And ignore these parentheses as well. And then just add these. So you've got x squared y and x squared y. You've got the same thing twice. So you've got 1 and 1 of this each. So you've got 2x squared y. So you've got 2x squared y like this. Now, you've got 2x squared y, so obviously these are incorrect because this is the only place where you got 2x squared y. The next step is you've got negative 3y squared and you've got positive 3y squared. So negative 3 plus 3, right? And they're both y squareds. So they cancel out because 3 minus 3 is 0. So you get 0y squared, so there's nothing left. And then you've got 5x squared plus 3 sorry, 5x squared minus 3xy squared. Obviously, this is the correct one to choose, not this, because it looks the same, right? Xy squared. So 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. So you've got 2xy squared, and so therefore C is your answer. Remember, the main thing is you flip the sign of this guy, but also don't forget to flip the sign of these two guys. That's the main thing. Now you try this problem. If instead of plus over here you've got a minus, and instead of a minus over here you've got a plus. So try to solve this problem. It's the exact same one, except I've tweaked it a little bit, and let me know which of these answers would work. So now try it. Hopefully you can solve it in just in your head in less than 10 seconds, but I think you should be able to solve this real quick. So try it, and let's move on to the next problem after that. If you see any number less than 6 on the SAT test, it's probably an easy problem like this one. You don't even need to read anything over here. You've got h is equal to 3a plus 28.6, and they're asking you what is the increase. Now remember, this is a linear equation, so it's a linear equation, right? So what's a linear equation? It has a constant over here, and then it has a number in front of it. Okay, so what does the number mean here? This number is the increase. Okay, so every year, what's the increase? The increase is directly this number in front of this value, and so this is your answer. You don't have to do any math. That's all you need to do. Just take the number in front of a, and that's the increase per year. All right, now you try this problem. Instead of this guy, you've got h is equal to 9.5a plus 5.7. Now can you find out what is the estimated increase each year? Super easy. All you need to do is find the number that we talked about before, and you got your answer. So post your answers. I think this practice is going to help you remember what needs to be done. All right, this is a crazy looking problem, but it's actually very easy. They're just asking you how to solve for p. So all of this thing at the top, we're going to call it something. Let's call it x. And this thing at the bottom, this whole thing, let's call it y. Right? And then you got a p here. In fact, instead of x and y, why don't we just call it 4 and 5? Right? Just a number. So how would you solve p now? Wouldn't you just multiply by the reciprocal? So what you can do is multiply by 5 over 4. I think you know the style. You multiply by 5 over 4. So you multiply by 5 over 4. When you do this, all of this cancels out, and you're left with p is equal to 5 over 4m. The same way now for this guy, you do the same thing. So let's try to do the same thing here. You just multiply by the reciprocal, which means you multiply by y over x here and y over x. So all of the y's cancel out, all of the x's are gone, and you're left with p, which is equal to this value. Now remember, this was your y value and this was your x value. What happened when you solve for p, the y went to the top here, so it came here. This part goes here, this part goes here, and then this part goes here. And that's your answer. So where do we see this part near m? We see this part over m only over here. You see this part. So this part came here, and the top part went down. Remember, this part looks complicated, but it's actually very easy. So of course, B is your answer. All right, you try this very simple problem. D is equal to E over FP. So what is the value of P? Remember, all you need to do is multiply by its reciprocal. Multiply by its reciprocal, and then you're going to get your answer. Very simple way, but very important, effective strategy for the SAT. So let me know what's your answer, and then let's move on. I love these problems. They are so easy to do. You've got a over b is equal to 2. So can we choose a value of a and b so that it's equal to 2? I'm just going to choose the simplest value. A is equal to 2 and b is equal to 1, because a divided by b gives you 2 over 1, which gives you 2. So a is equal to 2, b is equal to 1. I'm just going to plug it inside here. How easy can that be? So you got 4, and then b is equal to 1, right? So I'm going to put in 1 here, and then a is equal to 2. That's it. So you've got 4 times 1 is 4 divided by 2 gives you 2 as your answer. So here you go. You easily solve this problem this way. This is the best way to solve it, but in case you're more mathematically inclined, you can do the cross multiplication. You've got a over here is equal to 2b. Most of you can skip this, but a is equal to 2b, and then this 2b, a you can plug in as 2b here directly. So 4b over 2b, the b's cancel out, 4 over 2 is equal to 2. This is how the SAT intends you to solve it, but we're doing it in a faster, shorter way. All right, now you try this problem. You don't need this part and this part. If a over b is equal to 3, this is the new problem for you, then what is the value of 12b over a? So try to find this. Remember, practice is going to be very, very important for you. Just find the value of a and b. You can choose any value. Simple. You can just even take 3 over 1 as a and b respectively, and then plug it in, and you got your answer. So let me know which of these answers works for this new question. Remember, practice, 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 and that's the only way you can improve. Just watching won't help you. All right, this is a classic systems of equations problem, and you need to use elimination for this. So how do we solve this problem? You got a 3x and you got a negative x here. So obviously, if you want to get rid of this negative x, you just multiply this equation by 3. So what happens when you multiply it throughout by 3? So let's write it down. So you got 3 times 2 is 6y, and then you got 3 times negative x is negative 3x, and then you've got 3 times negative 19. Obviously, you've got to distribute this, so is equal to, and you can do the math, it's negative 57. And this top part you can copy the same way. So you've got 3x plus 4y is equal to negative 23, and then you simply add them because you need to get rid of these. So you cancel this out. 4 plus 6 is 10y, and over here you got 23 and 57, you've got negative 80. So 10y is equal to negative 80. You divide by 10 on both sides, so this 10 cancels out. You got negative 80 over 10, which is negative 8. And the only place where you see a negative 8 for y is this one. You don't even need to find the x value. Remember, you need to save time. So this is the only place where you find the y value is negative 8, and boom, this is your answer. All right, now instead of this part, we are going to look at this equation. So see how you can solve this. Remember, you just want to find out what's the value of y here. You don't have to do a lot. How can you get rid of the x? You multiply this by a special number. What's that number? Yes, it's 4. Once you distribute it over here, you're going to get negative something plus some y is equal to another value. Just add them and you're going to get your answer. So let me know what's the value of y and see if you can do it in your head. I'm pretty sure you can do this now in your head. Remember, even mental math is very important for this test. I'm going to give you a shortcut to solve this hard SAT problem. Remember, the shortcut is if you have any even value here, even means 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, any of these, or even 98, doesn't matter. All of these values, you're going to have g of 4, whatever that value is exactly equal to g of negative 4. Why? Because this is called an even function. That's all they're testing you. So g of 4 is equal to g of negative 4. So if g of 4 is 8, that's also equal to g of negative 4. So what is g of negative 4? It's 8. Done. You don't have to do anything at all for this problem. The other way, the long way to do this, is to plug 4 inside here, 8 in here, and then solve the value of a and then plug it inside. It's such a mess. This is much easy. I hope you agree that this even function shortcut is much easier than anything else. All right, now it's your turn. What if instead of 20 I put in, instead of 2 I put in 20, and I put an x squared here? What do you think is the answer? If g of 4 is 8, then what is g of negative 4? Remember, it's still an even function. And what's the property of even functions? G of any number is equal to g of the negative of that number. So what's the answer now? Not difficult to solve. So try it, post your answers. It should take you less than 3 seconds to find the answer. All right, this is such a wordy problem. Plus, it's a slightly complicated problem coming at question 11, number 11 on the no calculator section. So what do? What is the price per pound of beef? What is the price per pound of beef? So let's see. In the equation above, B represents the price per pound, this is useless, of beef. So the price per pound of beef is just this B value, this one here. And it's equal to price per pound, the price per pound of chicken. Where is that? It's here. C represents the price per pound of chicken. So what they're saying is just set B is equal to C. But what is B? B is equal to this guy and C is equal to this guy. So let's just write this right hand side. 2.35 plus 0.25x, and this is equal to the C part, which is 1.75 plus 0.40x. That's basically what they're saying. This is the math part, math equivalence of this English statement here. Now you just want to solve it. How do you solve it? You got a 0.25 and a 4 here. I'm just going to subtract the 0.25x from both sides like so. And then I get 2.35 is equal to 1.75 plus this goes away and you get a 0.15x here. Now you get rid of the 1.75 from both sides, right? If you are having trouble with this, you want to watch the other video which is on this channel, so you'll understand how better to solve these linear equations. So this is gone. You got 0.15x, and that is equal to 2.35 minus 1.75, so that is 0.6. And so now you got 0.6 and 0.15. So what do? X is equal to 0.6 divided by 0.15. Now this math can get a bit complicated, but what you can do is you can move the decimal two places. So you move the decimal here, you move the decimal here. So what do you get? This is a 0 here, so you're going to get x is equal to 60 over 15. Remember, this decimal movement is also, this moving is also important. 60 over 15, that gives you the answer of 4. So x is equal to 4, and they're asking us to plug this inside and find the value of b. So when you find the value of b, you get 2.35 plus 0.25 times 4. What is 0.25 times 4? Remember, 0.25 is like a quarter. What is 4 quarters? 4 quarters gives you 1. So this gives you 1. So 2.35 plus 1 gives you the value of 3.35. And so this is your answer. Now, I've got only one easy question for you. That is, what is the value of c? If you really understood it, you should be able to solve this in less than 5 seconds. There's nothing else to do. What's the value of c? Super easy. Remember, the price of pound is equal. That's the hint for you. It's equal. So try to find the value of c and post your answers. I think this will really help you understand this problem better. All right, this problem is number 12 on the no calculator. It could get a bit harder, but I'm going to show you a shortcut for this. So a line passes through the origin. So it's passing through the origin like this, and then has a slope of 1 and 7. So it's kind of going 1 and then going 7 like this. I think you know how to do this. So 1 and 7. So the line is almost like this, right? And it's going this way as well. So it's going up 1 and it's going up 7. So can you guess over here, right, which of the x coordinates, which one is bigger? Is this one bigger or this one bigger? Clearly you can see that over here, this value is, this part is, the x value is bigger. This is the bigger number and this is the smaller number, because you see this length, this run is much bigger than the rise. So where do you see the big and the small over here? There's only one place where you see the x value is bigger than the y value, and so this is the answer. There's another way to think about this, and once you know this, is you've got 14 here and 2 here. So let's say you've got 14 and 2. You can think about this. What's the rise? The rise is 2, the run is 14. So your slope is rise over run, which is 2 over 14, which is equal to 1 over 7, because you can cancel this out, right? 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 7 is 14, and that checks with this 1 over 7. And so this is confirmed to be your answer. But just this big small is easy enough for you to get the answer. Now you try this problem. It's the same line that passes through the origin, but instead of 1 over 7, the slope is 7 over 1, or 7, right? So what do you do now? Which of these answers would work? Post your answers. Remember, 7 over 1 passing through this means you've got 7, which is your rise, and 1 is your run. So can you guess which one is big, small here? So which one is the smaller one, which is the bigger one? And then I think it should be easy for you to solve it this way. All right. You can also think about this as this is 7, this is 1. So what would be the coordinate of this value, right? So post your answers. I think this is a very easy one to solve. We've greatly simplified this problem so you can solve it and get a better score on the SAT. And let's move on now to the next problem.